You say that all whites are racist. Can you expound on that, please?
Any white person who was born, raised, and schooled in the United States of America, if you aren't a racist, you're a miracle. Either that or you decided to educate yourself. Because education in this country is about white is right, brown's all right, black's got to stand back.
Black people and Asian people do have a lot in common. You know, when we talk about the respect for elders.
Yes.
And also, there's a general sense of not fitting in sometimes in America. And I think that's important. That's why I think Black people gravitated towards Kung Fu movies. Asian people gravitate towards rap music. Because there is like a rebellious outsider point of view almost, that this America is white America, and we're the outsiders looking in, trying to fit in, get a piece of this. And I think there's actually a lot of similarities.
That's Code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Blaming everything on white people. Oh, you're not gonna like this. World War I, white people. World War II, white people. The Vietnam War, white people. Slavery, white people. Systemic racism, white people. Racism in general, white people. Thousands of years of Asian history being wiped off this planet, white people. Africa decentralized for decades. South America decentralized for decades. Middle East decentralized for decades. White people. Capitalism, white people. Fascism in America, white people. Oh, look at that, you're Christian. Bet. Christianity being used to justify slavery? White people. Christianity being used to justify massacring Native Americans? White people. There's a fake Christian that sold Bibles with his own names on it sitting in the White House right now that was built and maintained by slaves. This motherfucker's white. Who led Germany during the 1930s? A white Christian. Which group of people colonized Africa? White Christians. Klan members. White Christians. St. Peter's Cross being misunderstood as a symbol of Satanism. White people. Border problems. White people. White people. The metal community being full of racist, ignorant bitches. White people. Speaking of that, Pantera. White people. The current dog shit state of the movie industry. White people and capitalism. The current dog shit state of the music industry. White people and capitalism. Specifically shit like Spotify. The current dog shit state of the gaming industry. White people and capitalism. Mount Rushmore. White people. This is some colonizer shit. Give native people their sacred land back. Dingoes. White people. The extinction of the dodo bird. White people. Fucking cave diving. White people. Last but not least, the useless existence of you and your mother. White people. That was 2 minutes of speed reading, and I'm barely on page 1 of the Cracker Book. Why are we being racist? Racist towards who? Old Man Coyote? You can't treat white people differently. That's racism. That's not how that works, stupid. I would love to break this to you, so here we go. It is impossible for a person of color to be racist towards one another or to a white person. Racism is something exclusive to white people. Only white people can be racist. The word you're looking for is prejudice. Can a person of color be prejudiced towards a white person? Yes. Can a person of color be prejudiced towards another person of color? Yes. A lot of Asians are prejudiced towards black people because of xenophobia, because of colorism, and surprise, surprise, because of white supremacist propaganda. Prejudice, however, is completely different from racism. Racism is systemic. Racism is tied with colonization. Racism is tied with slavery. Racism is tied together with generations upon generations upon generations of classism and supremacy that only benefits white people. Why do you think it was harder for Muhammad Ali to change his name than Bruce Jenner to change his gender? Take the colonizer history you've learned and throw it in the trash. Relearn the real history of the people to fully comprehend the definition of racism. With all that being said, I want to make something really fucking crystal clear for you. When you see me or any other person of color treat white people differently or say shit like white people can't be trusted, that is not prejudice, nor it is racism. Bitch, that's called being careful. Only crackers would believe that other unrelated egregious stuff happening around the world would justify or minimize their own horrific history or actions. I don't give a fuck that slavery was also happening in Asia. It doesn't change the fact that your great-great-great-grandpa owned slaves. America was built on the destruction of Native Americans, the blood, sweat, tears, and literal flesh of African Americans. Now, after all of that, you're telling me that you not only have the audacity to call African Americans lazy, ignore Native Americans, but you're also trying to minimize what happened in those history books. From the bottom of my cold, dead heart, you crackers deserve the days you deserve. You deserve to live long lives so that you can see minorities prosper. And most importantly, you deserve those chair shots. White people ended slavery has got to be the dumbest shit crackers have ever said to me. First of all, not true, because what the fuck do you think the slaves were doing during the Civil War? Chill out at home? Well, you know, some of them did, but regardless, the point still stands. Second of all, even if this is true, so what, Timmy? You unfucked a situation that was originally fucked up by you for a very long time. That means it took a while for y'all to understand that this is fucked up. And even then, the situation is still astronomically fucked. Timmy, do you think that after slavery, everything was sunshine and rainbows? How is any of this deserving praise or acknowledgement? 10 years after the Civil War, the wealth gap between a white person and a black person is 23-1. And not to mention, lynchings. How the fuck does any of this put a smile on my face? Y'all were so mad you couldn't own people anymore. You created the Klan. Don't type in my comment section, the Klan was created by the Democrats. This is some convenient shit only the whites would say. If the originality of something determines what it is, then all crackers go back to Europe. Every white person should be forced to look at the picture of Emmett Till before he was buried. And then you will finally understand that this doesn't mean jack shit to me. And especially, it doesn't mean jack shit to my scrumptious African Americans. Don't be mad at black people in TV shows and movies, and then go to church every Sunday to pray to white Jesus. I've seen a lot of Twitter fingers complaining about this, and this. But then it's fucking crickets when it comes to this. Don't sit there and pretend like you guys are bitching and moaning about these media because they are historically incorrect. Or as if they are not staying true to the original work. You guys don't give a fuck about that. All of this yapping, it's because you're racist. Take the hood off, Timothy. We all know it's you. You complain about this because it fits your racist agenda. But not this because it doesn't fit your racist agenda. You guys were yapping constantly about how Ariel cannot be black. Where's all this yapping when Moses is white? Apparently, according to crackers, the Bible has an extra commandment. Thou shalt bullshit to further on thy racist agenda. All these Klan members gathering around saying how this is historically inaccurate. Where were y'all when this movie was released? This movie is both scientifically and historically inaccurate. By the way, if you want to criticize this choice of casting, you should say she cannot act. I'm sorry, girl, but you can't. That movie was so bad in so many ways. Here's the icing on the Klan cake. You guys never talk about how characters have to be white because it would destroy your talking point. Batman has to be white because one of the biggest part of his character is recognizing his own white privilege and using it to help people and fight crime. Same thing as Iron Man. Big Daddy from Princess and the Frog has to be white. As a matter of fact, the only incorrect thing about this guy is that he's not racist. Nathan from The Last Samurai has to be white. Only a white person would obsess over Japan like this. So with all that being said, and in conclusion, crackers. All this complaining about black people in media, bro, sounds about white.
White people didn't invent slavery. In fact, they were the first to end it. But somehow, saying this is controversial.
There's a lot of ways for me to explain why this narrative is a big pile of horseshit. Today, let's go with the most direct one. Close to the start of the Civil War, slave rebellions rose up all around America and the world. We have the 1811 German Coast Uprising, Nat Turner's Uprising, the Haitian Revolution. Slavery wasn't that profitable anymore, so they ended it on paper and traded one form of evil for another. Black people fought and freed themselves, while the whites wasted their fortune on pointless wars.
Slavery is evil, practiced by everyone to everyone.
The map you showed in your video was founded on fucking Reddit, and it's also fucking wrong. There's missing parts everywhere, including America, Congo, and Vietnam. And slavery didn't end in Russia in 1723. It technically ended in 1902. I don't know how much research you did, but do more of it.
I went to Ghana. I stood in a slave dungeon where people who looked like me sold people who looked like me to white people.
I cannot fucking believe those words came out of your mouth. Let's take a look at these 5 Native American tribes. For the longest time, they live with white people. They developed economic ties, they own slaves, they signed treaties, they even wear European clothes. Do you know why they did this? Because all the other tribes that didn't were nearly fucking wiped out. The same thing happened to African people, dumbass. It especially happened to the people in Ghana, the place you fucking went to.
Europeans did take slavery to another scale, but it's not because they were more evil. It's because they had the technology to commit evil on an industrial scale.
Let me understand your logic. Better technology equals slavery. Don't multiply yourself. By the way, the people with less technology were undefeated for 30 years.
Which major power stopped slavery first? The British.
For fucking who, when, and where exactly? Immediately after slavery ended on paper, European countries colonized Africa. It was literally called the Scramble for Africa because they were panicking that slavery ended. From 1904 till 1945, the British owned 25% of the world, and they were stealing and taking every resources and wealth they can from these colonies. The rest of the video is just some all lives matter shit that I'm not gonna entertain, but one thing before I leave. I'm not making this video to debunk this guy or to make the whites mad. I consider these people lost causes. I'm making this video for the younger generation to show you guys what the whites is really about. That this country was built with blood and bones. Because I know they're not teaching this shit in school.
Black people and Asian people are meant for each other. I know H-Mart Gate is over, but let me piggyback off this subject and present to you Black and Asian solidarity. If you guys don't know, we've always been there for each other since the beginning. Let's take a trip through history to really understand that. Black people were dying in the Vietnam War more than white people per capita. But did you guys hate us? No! As a matter of fact, y'all understood that that was the white man's war. Here's black people protesting against the Vietnam War. This is Yuri Kochiyama, an Asian woman activist, and she was really good friend with Malcolm X. See, we've always been there for each other. Black people, during the H-Mart thing, you guys were not in our business because your problem, our problem. Our problems, your problems. We have always shared problems. Let me prove it. Y'all got Uncle Toms, we got Uncle Tams. They destroy villages in Africa, also bomb the shit out of Asia. Y'all deal with the Klan, we deal with the Klan. Here's Martin Luther King and Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Buddhist. They were probably talking about how to deal with the Klan in this picture. Look at this. This is the wealth inequality in America. Your problems, our problems. You guys know what else we have in common? We're diabolical builders. The Chinese people built the Great Wall of China, a proper wall. The people of Mali built Timbuktu, a proper city. Just like the people of Southeast Asia, black people of America have rebuilt their identity, community, and culture brick by brick. They keep destroying black towns, but you guys give up and stop rebuilding? Fuck! No! It used to be that you can't have shit in Detroit. Detroit is kinda okay now. Another reason for black and Asian solidarity is rice. That's right, rice gang. Do not let the crackers propaganda deceive you. Black people love rice as much as Asian people. Here's African rice, here's Asian rice. Y'all remember when I said you got Uncle Toms and we got Uncle Tams? Throw both of these traitorous motherfuckers in Chinese prison and make them work on rice fields. If they want to be for the whites, treat them as such. With all that being said, in the spirit of black and Asian solidarity, I propose that the Asian community make our own version of the Black Panthers. We're gonna call it the Flying Phoenix.
So, my ancestors were asked by white men to come to this country, which they had stolen and forced black people to build, because they were hoping that my ancestors would be the new cheap and disposable labor to undercut the recently freed black people that lazy white men didn't want to pay. And when my ancestors wouldn't do that, they were lynched and massacred, their towns were destroyed, they were blown up while building the railroads, and ultimately they were excluded from society and the country for nearly 60 years. Then when the United States asked us to come back in the 1960s because they wanted to put us in the way of black people again, and the United States needed to rehabilitate its reputation with Asian countries that were gaining in economic and political power. We had civil rights because of black people.
Hot take, but I think that Asian people and black people are meant to be friends. We have so many cultural similarities that make it easy to relate to each other. Both cultures got family values, tough ass food, strict ass parents. Oh, and don't get me started on family functions. My homeboys be talking about black people get turned at the family function. Hey, you haven't seen the Asian family functions though. I'm talking about Viet, Filipino, Kazakh. We go crazy. Hear me out. Every Jackie Chan needs his Chris Tucker. On some real shit, me and my black friends, we just click. Like if I'm playing R&B in the car, they're gonna be like, yo, pass me the aux. I fuck with anime, they gon' watch it with me. Bro, now that I think of it, there's so many examples of this type of friendship online. Bro, why do you think Kai Cenat and Ray got along so well? K-pop music literally takes inspiration from African-American artists. There's way too many similarities. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you guys think, and also let me know what other race duos there are.
I'm mad at Asian Americans because why are we so smart but so silent? What's with the silence? I suspect that if we opened our mouths, we would side with black people and other brown people as the real American heroes. Yeah, we're brown, not white. But this would disrupt the white supremacy brainwash we're caught in. And deep down, we hate ourselves for siding with whiteness. We know they're wrong. Our silence is the sound of us hating ourselves. But that's the Squid Game trap that they set for us, an Asian American matrix that messes with our reality. And it's all based on hating black people. You know, the ones we're all secretly trying to copy, even the white peoples. White supremacy isn't smart, but it's tricky like that. You like being tricked? I don't know any Asians who put up with that. We gotta decolonize ourselves and find Asian joy.
Sometimes when I talk about race on my channel, I'll have white people in my comments being like, oh, so you hate white people? Well, why do you choose to live in our countries then? And it's just like, oh my God. I do not hate white people, but historically, white people in America have been very racist towards people who look like me, and not just in America. And so I just think we need to be aware of the history. That's it. I'm not denying that there has been hate from other races towards Asians, but every video I make on TikTok is not a complete breakdown of the entire history of that. There are a lot of white people in the world. Are they all racist? No. Also, it's not like I chose to grow up in America. Does that really need an explanation? I guess I'm choosing to live there now, but if you guys send some donations my way, I am more than happy to move to Asia. Like and subscribe.
Thank you for asking this question, because I wonder, what is it that some white people feel that they are being divided from when they hear me talking about dismantling white supremacy culture and explaining how history has established systemic racism in the United States that causes ongoing harm to this day. Because in my view, white supremacy culture and systemic racism are problems that need to be acknowledged, understood, addressed, and fixed. And the way to help do that is to raise awareness and educate people on how to be part of the solution. And we all have it within us to be part of the solution, but white people more than any other group are empowered with that ability. So that leads me to believe that the white people who feel that my content is creating division feel divided because they do not want to be part of the solution. And I do have a problem with people who, through their words and actions, have demonstrated that they willingly uphold white supremacy culture and systemic racism. However, as far as racial prejudice goes, I do not associate white supremacy culture with all white people, nor do I assume that all white people willingly uphold white supremacy culture. Also, white people absolutely can be the victims of bigotry and racial prejudice, and it is never right for anybody to be racially prejudiced against an entire group. However, white people do not experience racism. Racism is power plus prejudice, and non-white people do not have the power to be racist towards white people. Another thing is that white people who understand everything that I have just explained do not need me to clarify that I am not racist towards white people, because they know that already. And people who are willfully ignorant, it doesn't matter how many times I explain or what I answer, they will always accuse me of being racist. But as far as inclusion goes, I am more than happy to celebrate anybody who is willing to celebrate everybody.
Yeah, welcome back to the channel and thank you for staying tuned to watch all those beautiful clips. Now, what you just saw in those clips is just about an Asian American man dropping a bombshell truth about how America and white Americans sees themselves. He emphasized on what the American has done in the past, making them to start the First World War, the Second World War, the Third World War. This man is literally blaming everything on the white American. And we cannot blame him. Maybe this is because of his past experience or what he has read in history, or it could be personal interest on the culture itself. And at the other hand, you can see what happens when someone shares a personal experience that challenges the way people think about the race. That's exactly what that happened, and that's what the Asian man is publicly speaking about. He's speaking about discrimination he says he has experienced because of the color of his skin. Even though he's a white man as well, he still got discriminated being an Asian man. He argued that racism does not affect just one community. People from many races, racial and ethnic backgrounds have shared experience of prejudice, exclusion, and unfair treatment. He urged viewers not to ignore those stories simply because they don't fit a familiar narrative.